Leo Tolstoy, born on 9 September 1828 in Russia, died on 28 November 1910. Today is his birth anniversary, 192nd birth anniversary. Leo Tolstoy said one of the first conditions of happiness is that the link between man and nature shall not be broken. Last time I spoke about Leo Tolstoy was my 95th short discourse on 8th July, and this is the second time I'm talking about Leo Tolstoy. Count Lev Nikolaevich Tolstoy, usually referred to in English as Leo Tolstoy, was a Russian writer who is regarded as one of the greatest authors of all time. He received multiple nominations for the Nobel Prize in Literature every year from 1902 to 1906, and nominations for Nobel Peace Prize 1901 to 1902 and 1910. And the fact that he never won is a major Nobel Prize controversy. Born to an aristocratic Russian family in 1828, he is best known for the novels War and Peace, 1869, and Anna Karenina, 1877, often cited as pinnacles of realist fiction. He first achieved literary acclaim in his 20s with his semi-autobiographical trilogy, Childhood, Boyhood and Youth, 1852 to 1856, and Sevastopol Sketches, 1855, based upon his experiences in the Crimean War. Tolstoy's fiction includes dozens of short stories and several novellas such as The Death of Ivan Ilyich, 1886, Family Happiness, 1859, and The Haji Murad, 1912. He also wrote plays and numerous philosophical essays. In the 1870s, Tolstoy experienced a profound moral crisis, followed by which he regarded as an equally profound spiritual awakening, as outlined in his non-fiction work, A Confession, 1882. His literal interpretation of the ethical teachings of Jesus, centering on the Sermon on the Mount, caused him to become a fervent Christian anarchist and pacifist. Tolstoy's ideas on non-violent resistance, expressed in such works as The Kingdom of God is Within You, 1894, had a profound impact on such pivotal 20th century figures as Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. Tolstoy also became a dedicated advocate of Georgism, the economic philosophy of Henry George, which he incorporated into his writing, particularly Resurrection. Leo Tolstoy said one of the first conditions of happiness is that the link between man and nature shall not be broken. Man and nature. The day you broke, you get very close to Jiddu Krishnamurti's sayings. When one loses the deep, intimate relationship with the nature, then temples and churches and masjid and other things becomes very important. Leo Tolstoy also said the same thing. The link between man and nature, you and nature, shall never be broken. It cannot be broken. It is a way of life. It is written and given and produced and delivered to you that you have to live with nature. When you disconnect that, then hospitals, labs, BP, sugar, varieties of lovers come into your life in the name of blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, heart attack, call it varieties. One of the first conditions of happiness is that the link between man and nature. Let us not go into the nature first. Let us go into our own nature. What is your nature? Look at his nature. How he's behaving. People say, look at his nature. How he's behaving. This is the way he behaves. Your nature. Why he's behaving like that? That means he has got no control on his body. That is very important. The first thing is to be in love with the systems in the body. The first very thing is, if you have an eyes, how to maintain the eyes. Not only fall in love with the eye, embrace the eyes, but find out what goes well with the eyes, what kind of food goes well with the eyes, what kind of exercise goes with the eyes. Exercise doesn't mean you go to the gym and again do the exercise. Find out what kind of work goes well with the eyes and the nose and the ears and the brain and the neck and the shoulder. So all these joints are very important to be greased, oiled, and get the stretch. The day man forget to do the stretching doesn't mean you go again back to the gymnasium or to the karate class or yoga class and do your stretching. There it goes on a reverse direction. I am not against that. I was once, now also in that. But what I'm telling, that is unnecessary wastage of time. But when the same stretching when you do by climbing a tree in your own house, you get a full stretch and it is permanent, powerful. Because it has got a melting point with the sunlight, wind energy, and the openness. And from there, your mind also develops deeper and deeper to enjoy. Yes. So exercise, one of the first conditions of happiness is that the link between man and nature. So you and your body first, and then you start loving. Once you start loving your body, you start loving. Love thy neighbor as they love your wife. Love your husband. Love your children, father and mother, brother and sister. Then the grandmother and grandfather. Their stories, experience stories, grandmother's stories, grandfather's stories, that experience stories, you sit with them, but you do not talk back. Even if you think they're talking rubbish, that rubbish is manure. You need the rubbish before you admire one person's poison, another person's food. Amrit. So don't think that is rubbish. Sometimes, someday, that is very useful to put it as a manure to make you more strong, to have permanent structure. This is my discussion with you. Don't you think that is right? But the moment you disconnect with your grandfather and grandmother, the day you ask a part of a grandfather and grandmother, mother and father's property, then means you must realize you have not worked hard to create a bigger circle. This is not going to stabilize. Yes. The day you leave your family house and take a nucleus family, then you understand the relationship between you and the nature has broken. You and your relationship, the link is broken. Then the positive and negative only can create electricity. When that is disconnected, you have to go and buy some other battery operated. But even that has got a link. You keep looking, listen that. Maybe temporary lights you might get it, but not as much as beauty as the house. The joint family, creating joint family makes you very, very happy. So you work in the field, working in the gymnasium, working in some other place. What I'm trying to tell is, one of the first conditions of happiness is that the link between man and nature shall not be broken. Your link with your height and your weight shall not be broken. When you enter into the bus, do you think you will enter the bus without measuring the money? They'll ask for the ticket. When you go to the restaurant also, you will make sure how much money you have. On that measurement, you order a thing, right? The same thing what I'm trying to tell Leo Tolstoy was trying to say is, one of the first conditions of happiness is that the link between man and nature, you and your height and body weight, every day without a break, you have to check it up. When you check it up, you know there is excess fat. If there is excess fat, don't go to the gymnasium, but go to the land and work. When you go to the land and work, that is a permanent stretching you get. The stretch of the body is very important. When you work in your kitchen, find out what works with your body to get that one. Whether you have to wash the clothes using the washing machine or with the hand and take it to the terrace to dry it up. Or is it the driving? Instead of driving, you go walk up to the shop and come back. Varieties of things. That work helps you to open up your mind, and that work brings money. But a gymnasium and karate class, yoga class doesn't bring in money. You are only trying to always cut it up, and after some time it again bloats it. Cut it up, some bloats it. But here there's a relationship built up with the plant, with the doggies on the street, with the tree which you're trying to plant it up and water it up and climb up and trim the branches. That trimming the branches all gets you the stretch. That connecting link, if you have it, You are a master. That mastership gives you the happiness. One of the first conditions of happiness is that the link between man and nature do not break that relationship. This is my 174th short discourse.